You know, I was just strolling down Michigan Avenue in Chicago on this scorching summer day, feeling the heat rise off the pavement like it was trying to melt my sneakers, when I spotted this woman, let's call her Anna Reynolds, walking along in her beat-up gray sweatshirt, jeans that had seen better days, and this old canvas bag slung over her shoulder like it was her only possession. She looked about 32, with her dark hair loose and a bit messy from the wind off the lake. No makeup, just these piercing blue eyes that seemed to cut through the crowd, without even trying. But man, the people around her? They weren't seeing any of that. They were too busy judging, whispering snide remarks like she didn't belong in this ritzy part of town, full of shiny storefronts and folks in designer gear rushing to their power lunches. It started small, a guy in a crisp suit sipping his latte, eyeing her up and down with this smirk, muttering loud enough for her to hear, "Hey, sweetheart, the thrift store's that way, this ain't the place for hand-me-downs." And his buddies chuckled, like it was the funniest thing since Saturday Night Live. But Anna? She just kept walking, her steps steady, measured, like she'd marched through worse than a few cheap laughs. It wasn't just him, though the whole crowd seemed to pile on, feeding off each other's energy in that weird way city folks do when they're bored and a little mean from the heat. There was this woman in a sleek white dress, nails done up like she was heading to a gala, leaning into her friend and saying, "Oh please, look at that bag, probably stuffed with yesterday's trash. Bet she's crashing the Magnificent Mile thinking she fits in." And they giggled, phones out, snapping pics like Anna was some sideshow exhibit, all because, deep down, maybe they envied her freedom. You see? These types, stuck in their corporate grind, grinding away for the next promotion, resenting anyone who didn't play the game. Anna, she'd opted out years ago, after leading an elite recon unit through hellish missions in the desert, the kind where one wrong call meant lives lost, and she'd made that call once, haunted by it ever since, choosing a quiet life in the city to heal, no glory, no spotlight, just blending in. But the jabs kept. Kaminga delivery kid on his bike swerved close, yelling, "Move it, lady. This ain't your runway parade." With that sarcastic edge, his friends high-fiving like bullies in a bad movie, and Anna stepped aside calmly, her hand brushing the bag strap, fingers tightening just a bit, not from fear, but from that inner steel she'd forged in the field, remembering the weight of command, the respect she'd earned the hard way. The tension built as she hit a crosswalk, the light red, forcing her to stop amid the swarm. That's when the mockery hit its peak, voices overlapping in this chaotic symphony of cruelty. The suit guy from before pointed, laughing harder now, strutting like she's in boot camp or something. Newsflash. "Honey, the Army surplus store called. They want their reject back." And the white dress woman chimed in, her tone dripping venom. "Pathetic. Really, probably faking some sob story for sympathy." People like her dragged the whole vibe down, all rooted in their own insecurities, projecting their fears of falling off the social ladder onto someone who looked easy to kick. An old vet selling pins nearby caught her eye. Thuff straightened up, whispering to himself, "That walk, that's no civilian gait." But the crowd dismissed him as a crazy old-timer, one teen mimicking Anna's stride exaggeratedly. "Look at me. I'm a wannabe hero." And everyone roared, phones filming, turning her into viral fodder without a second thought. Anna stood there, jaw set, eyes on the horizon, her mind flashing back to those dusty briefings, maps under harsh lights, her voice steady as she ordered advances that saved lives but scarred her soul. Why chase the glamour now, when peace meant invisibility? The air thickened, judgments flying like daggers, until a low rumble cut through, distant at first, growing into this chest-thumping roar that made heads turn. People craned their necks. "What's that? Construction?" someone asked, but no, it was engines, heavy ones, and suddenly this military convoy rolled into view down the avenue. Humvees and armored trucks flying U.S. flags, gleaming under the sun like something out of a blockbuster. The crowd buzzed, excited, thinking parade or promo stunt. But Anna? She pivoted subtly, feet squaring up, shoulders back like muscle memory kicking in from years of drills, and raised her hand in a crisp salute, which only fueled more laughs at first, the suit guy sneering. "Oh great. Now she's playing soldier. Those salutes ain't for you, nobody." And the kid tugged his mom's sleeve, piping up innocently but cutting, "Lady, they don't even know you exist." The white dress woman scoffed, Talk about delusion. Salutes are for real heroes, not street wanderers. Her words laced with that miffed superiority, born from her own unfulfilled dreams maybe, resenting anyone who might have achieved what she hadn't. But then a vehicle screeched to a halt, right there in traffic, hatches flying open, soldiers popping up in unison, hands snapping to brows, all eyes on Anna, and the commander's voice boomed over the speakers. "Salute Colonel Reynolds," like thunder cracking the sky. The laughter died instantly, throats tightening as shock rippled through the suit guy's phone froze mid-record. The white dress woman's glasses slipped, her face paling like she'd seen a ghost. A young soldier climbed out, holding up a creased paper, voice steady. "This is her citation, Silver Star, Elite Recon Division, for leading us through enemy lines when no one else could." And the crowd murmured, leaning in, doubt cracking their smug shells. Anna lowered her salute, tugging her sweatshirt just enough to reveal a faint scar on her shoulder, etched with her unit's insignia Falcon in flight, and another trooper shouted, "That's the mark of the legends." Gasps echoed, the old vet nodding knowingly, while the teen's mom pulled her kid close, whispering, "We were wrong. So wrong." It wasn't staged. No, these soldiers' faces held real respect, forged in fire, and as Anna nodded once, the commander stepped out, saluting sharply. "The unit stands ready, Colonel," his tone firm, carrying the weight of shared battles, the kind where she'd risked everything to bring them home, only to walk away haunted by the ones she couldn't save. The reversal hit hard. You could feel the air shift. The suit guy stammered, This has to be a joke, right? Hired actors?" But his voice cracked, hollow, as guilt set in, his earlier cruelty replaying in his mind like a bad loop. The white dress woman crossed her arms, muttering weakly, "If she's some big shot, why dress like that? Must have messed up, fallen hard," clinging to her bias. But the crowd parted now, giving Anna space, whispers turning to awe and regret. She didn't linger, though, just turned and kept walking, bags swinging lightly, disappearing into the throng as the convoy rolled on, leaving folks stunned, reflecting on their snap judgments. How easy it is to tear down what you don't understand. A week later, that video went viral. The suit guy lost his job after his boss saw the clip, clients bailing on the firm's toxic vibe. The white dress woman faced backlash at her charity gigs, her snide history unearthed, sponsorships drying up. Even the teen deleted her posts, hands shaking, vowing to think twice. The old vet smiled at his table, folks stopping to hear his tales now, and a street musician strummed a tune about unseen heroes, drawing crowds who'd been there, dropping tips with quiet apologies. Anna? She never looked back, kept her low-key life, ignoring the headlines about the mystery colonel on Michigan Avenue. Because true strength doesn't need validation, right? But here's the thing that sticks with me: is the crowd's cruelty just heat of the moment meanness? Or does it say something deeper about how we all judge books by covers in this fast-paced world? And Anna's choice to stay hidden, heroic humility, or a way to dodge the pain of her past? I mean, public shaming got those mockers fired, but is that justice, or just mob revenge flipping the script? Drop a comment below. What would you have done in that crowd? Have you ever judged someone too quick and regretted it? Hit like if this hit home. Subscribe for more real-life twists that make you think, and share your take on fairness in the comments. Let's chat about it, because stories like this, they remind us we're all walking with hidden scars.